Hey guys, I got all my everything buffed off. Got the haze buffed off it from the last coat of dye, and now I'm ready to start marking for my holes. For that, I'm just going to take my 2-pronger and just I'm going to start right here at the very top. If I can see. And I'm just making enough of an indentation so that I know where I'm going with this thing. Now I'm almost to the end, so I want to come down here it's hard to do all this. My arthritis is acting up quite a bit today. So what this is going to allow me to do is there's almost always one uneven stitch. It's not going to quite be as consistent as the rest, but this will allow me to gauge that just a little bit better. And I can kind of make a mark and make a mark. Actually, it comes out pretty good. So now I've got all my stitch holes marked, and I'm going to take them over to my drill press, which is my little baby drill press, and I'm going to drill them out, get ready to stitch it. So once I've got them drilled and I'm ready to stitch, I wasn't going to show stitching in this video because, well, frankly, I've showed it before. But I'm going to anyway. I know Mike is going to be using a tool like this, a lacing chisel, which is fine. They work great. It's going to be a little more work to get it through the holes, or to make your holes, but that's fine. It does a fine job of making the holes. I did take mine and sharpen it a bit. I took it and I evened out. Dryer's done. I took and evened out the tips of the teeth because they were a little off, and I ground the edges just a little bit and sharpened them so that my chisel goes through a little easier. But that's purely a me thing. I used this a lot and still use it quite a bit. So this is just the way that I want to do this one. So I'm going to get the holes drilled, and I'll come back when I'm ready to stitch. Alright, we're ready to stitch. Now I'm working on a set of my personal gear that I'm all using red top stitch on. So we're gonna measure around, and that's once. There's twice. Given that I've got that third thickness in there, that would be 4. I'm going to go 6 lengths. I hate running short on any project, and it's happened to me too many times. So I'd rather throw a little thread away than not have enough. So there we go. I'm going to chuck it up in my pony, get my needles threaded, and I'll be right back. Alright, grab my pliers so I have it handy. I'm not going to do a hole stitching video. I'm going to show you how I start and how I finish. So here's my first hole, and I'm going to go to the second hole. Pull my needle through. Even up. And I'm always working starting in the front. We'll pull it through the top hole. I do this to give that extra strength of having double thread through that first hole and make it extra strong. And when I'm pulling it tight, I'm not pulling it super duper tight. So now we go back to the second hole. And we're going to pull it towards the top out of the way. And come through there. The back. Right now, there's 3 pieces of thread running through that hole, and it's really tight to pull a needle through. Alright. So now, it's just a saddle stitch all the way down. And we'll be back in a few minutes, which will be the blink of an eye in YouTube time. And I'll show you how I finish. So I'll be back in a second. Okay, I'm down to my last hole. I'm going to, and I'm pretty tight on my thread, a little tighter than I thought I'd be. But I made it, so. And again, it's pretty thick down here, so we'll have to help it with the pliers. And come through again. Ugh. Now, the pliers comes in handy too when your thread gets this short. You can use it to get some tension here. Alright. And then I'm just going to take, so I've gone back 1 hole. I like to go back a little more, but I don't have the thread to do that. And it's not going to be that big a concern either. So, there we go. I'm going to reposition a little bit and cut her off. There's my ends. I take my scissors and I cut it as close as I can. And see if that'll show. You can see there isn't much sticking up there. But what it is just enough so that when I take my lighter, and you just want to try to use the blue part of the flame, I can melt it down, kind of give it a little squeeze. And that's never going to come out of there. So, there we go. It looks like I'm ready to wet form it, but I got to get to bed. I got to work a double shift tomorrow. I may get back to it tomorrow night and get the wet forming started. And I don't know if you can see the red thread. You can see it pretty well on the back side. But I think it looks pretty neat. I did the same thing on this magazine carrier. And I'm doing a holster for my Smith & Wesson Sigma, which will also have the red top stitch. So, I'm going to call this quits for now. The stitching is done. Next will be wet forming. So, stay safe. God bless. We'll catch you next time around. Thanks for watching.